Pokemon's movesets are pretty logical in most cases. Most fire types can learn Flamethrower and Fire Blast, Pokemon with shells can learn Withdraw, and so on and so on. But many Pokemon can't learn moves we think they should. So what's up fellas, my name is Matt, and that's what Elias and I are going to talk about today. Alright, let's get started.
What's up, I'm Elias, and Tail Glow is one of the best boosting moves in the game. It raises your special attack by 3 stages, which is incredible. But to compensate, its distribution is extremely limited. In Gen 3, only Volbeat could learn Tail Glow. Since then, the only other Pokemon to get this move are Manaphy and Xurkitree, but there's one other Pokemon that absolutely deserves this move.
One of Ampharos' primary design elements is its shining tail. That aspect is highlighted in nearly all of its Pokedex entries. The only exceptions are the Hoenn games and Mega Ampharos' entries in Gen 7. Even then, Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, and Auras's entries do mention how bright it is, just not specifically its tail. In the Johto games, Amphi the Ampharos acts as the beacon for the lighthouse in Olivine City, which plays a role in the game's story. Amphi is sick and it's your job to get the secret potion, so Jasmine can nurse it back to health.
The anime episode Fight for the Light tells a similar story. Sparkle the Ampharos is also shown using its tail to light up the lighthouse, but for some unknown reason, Ampharos still can't learn Tail Glow in the games. That's a real shame too, because its boosting options are pretty limited. The only moves it has that can raise special attack are Charge Beam and Meteor Beam. Tail Glow would provide a much bigger boost, and it would be more reliable than its other choices as well. Mega Ampharos' special attack is a whopping 165, so being able to boost it into the stratosphere would have been a nice option.
On the flip side, Skull Bash is a pretty bad move. It's 130 power and 100% accurate, but it takes 2 turns to pull off. The fact that it raises defense is nice, but you're better off using attacks that don't take 12 billion years to come out. Cranidos and Rampardos seem like shoo-ins to get the move, but they're not able to learn it.
Once again, Cranidos and Rampardos' skulls are their most prominent design elements. You get these Pokemon by reviving the skull fossil, and most of their Pokédex entries talk about their heads. They can learn most of the other head-based moves like Head Smash, Iron Head, Headbutt, and Zen Headbutt, but not Skull Bash for some reason. You mean to tell me Rampardos can't learn this move, but Starmie can?
This is tangentially related, but Rampardos' abilities were a missed opportunity as well. Its 2 choices are Mold Breaker and Sheer Force, the latter of which pairs well with its astronomical attack stat. But Rockhead isn't an option for some reason, despite the game focusing so heavily on its rock-hard head. That ability would pair well with Rampardos' move pool too, because Head Smash normally deals a ton of recoil damage. Still hate the word recoil. Fight me.
Okay.
Alright, let's go, man.
I think you lose this one. Not gonna lie.
Last time we covered this topic, we talked about how Machamp can't learn Arm Thrust or Comet Punch. But let's take a look at one of its more famous missing moves. For the first 7.5 generations of Pokemon, Machamp couldn't learn Mach Punch. You might notice that Machamp's name contains the word Mach, but that's most likely a coincidence. The evidence we have to back up that claim comes from TV, and not the way you might think.
Most Pokemon's name origins have never been explicitly confirmed, but there are a few exceptions. Pokemon Black and White feature a robust collection of shows, which you can tune into by interacting with TVs in the Unova region. The shows that are on depend on when you tune in. During the first 10 minutes of each hour, the TV will tell you info about your Pokemon adventure. How many times you've ridden your bike, how many Premier Balls you've gotten from the mart, how many times you've used Splash, and so on and so on. Which begs the question, who the hell is following me around and putting my stats on TV?
Anyway, for the 25 minutes after that, the shows focus on abilities, moves, and items. But what we're looking for today can be found in the last 25 minutes of each hour. One of the shows that airs during this time is Poke Quiz. The host gives 3 contestants the name of a Pokemon, and they have to guess what they're called in a different language. After the contestants take their guesses, the host reveals the correct answer and explains where the name comes from. I'll just harness the moon and make it crush you. I win.
In the Japanese version of the game, the show is about Pokemon's English names. One of the 10 Pokemon featured in this show is Machamp. After all 3 contestants guess wrong, the host explains that its name comes from Macho and Chop, and there's no mention of the word Mach. With that information in mind, we can reasonably assume that Machamp's name comes from Macho and Champ. On top of all that, Machop, Machoke, and Machamp have completely different names in Japanese. In fact, English is the only language where Machamp and Mach Punch's names line up, although French is pretty close.
Despite that, we still do think Mach Punch would make sense for Machamp to learn. In Pokemon Fire Red, the Pokedex says Machamp can launch a flurry of 1,000 punches in 2 seconds. Its Golden Crystal Dex entries talk about how quickly its arms can move as well. So you'd think it could learn a move that involves punching quickly, but it took 1 trillion years for Machamp to get this attack. Our guy got Mach Punch in Legends Arceus, but Machamp isn't usable in Scarlet and Violet. That means it still can't use Mach Punch in Link battles.
In a previous video, we talked about some of the universal TMs in the series. Snore is one of the more obscure universal moves, even though it's available as a TM or tutor move in nearly every game. It's not commonly used because it's an absolutely terrible attack. Snore is weak and it only works while you're sleeping. If you want to attack the turn after using rest, you're better off using Sleep Talk or a Chesto Berry.
But Snore lost its universal status in Gen 9, so let's talk about one Pokemon that can't learn this move anymore. Komala is said to spend its entire life sleeping according to the Pokedex. Its ability Comatose brings that energy to every battle as well. The game treats Komala like it's asleep at all times, which makes it immune to other non-volatile statuses, and lets you use Snore and Sleep Talk whenever you want.
Kamala Harris could learn Snore like most other Pokemon
You're
in
fired.
Gen 7. Komala could learn Snore like most other Pokemon in Gen 7, but it can't learn the move in Scarlet and Violet. You also can't transfer a Snore Komala... Jesus Christ.
Oh no!
You also can't transfer a Snore Komala in from another game. Once it arrives in Gen 9, it'll lose the move entirely. Komala doesn't have any other way to learn Snore in these games, despite being the sleeping Pokemon.
It's not like Komala couldn't have been given some other way to learn Snore either. Several Pokemon got Snore through different methods in Gen 9, which they didn't have access to before. The Lake Guardians can learn it via the Move Reminder feature, and Sawala gets it as an egg move now. So Komala getting a move back would be fair game if you ask us. Hello, this next paragraph is our best attempt to make sure this video doesn't get marked as made for kids.
A while back, we made a video about Applin and its evolutions. While Matt was doing this is my favorite part of the video. While Matt was doing the research, he learned about another weird missing move. Flapple's design revolves pretty heavily around f***ing gravity. It's probably inspired by the story of the apple falling in Isaac Newton's f***ing head. A tale that's almost true but not quite. Anyway, Flapple's signature move is f***ing Grav Apple. A f***ing move that's f***ing boosted by 50% if really f***ing intense gravity is active.
I hate that I feel the need to do this. But Flapple can't learn the move Gravity itself, meaning it has to rely on some other Pokemon to get the power boost. Most of the time, Pokemon can learn any moves that will boost their stabs even further. Most water types can learn Rain Dance, most electric types can learn Electric Terrain, and so on and so on. Heck, Flapple can make Grav Apple stronger by using Grassy Terrain, but it can't learn the more unconventional way to boost the move, even though gravity plays such a big role in its design.
Here's another example we stumbled upon. Quite a few slow Pokemon can learn priority moves, which is a nice tool to ensure they can move first when they need to. Mach Punch is a staple of Conkeldur's move pool, for example, despite its base speed stat of 45. Beartic is marginally faster, clocking in with 50 speed. That's not exactly setting any sprint world records anytime soon though. Fortunately, Beartic can bypass its low speed with Aqua Jet.
Even though there's an Ice-type priority move in the form of Ice Shard, Beartic only gets the Water-type one. That's kind of a shame, because having stab priority in your move pool can't hurt. A while back, we got a comment saying that polar bears are good at swimming, so Aqua Jet makes more sense for Beartic. We're not here to say that our guys shouldn't learn Aqua Jet, but Ice Shard checks out too, because it doesn't require the user to move quickly on land. Either way, polar bears can also run at speeds of over 20 miles an hour, but that's besides the point.
Yeah, polar bears are kind of crazy, aren't they?
Are you talking about polar bears, or are you secretly talking about Pete Alonso? I knew it! I knew it!
In game, Ice Shards is described as flash freezing chunks of ice and quickly throwing them. That's something we think Beartic would be capable of doing. That's something we think Pete Alonso would be capable of doing. Plenty of other slow Pokemon can learn Ice Shard as well, like Abomasnow, Lapras, and Donphan. So considering Beartic can learn a different priority move, we think Ice Shard would be fair game as well.
Starfish do not even have skulls.
No, of course not. I don't think they have bones, do they?
Did we fail middle school science?
Yes.
Next up, Hitmonchan can't learn Sucker Punch, but its cousins Hitmonlee and Hitmontop can. It's true that Sucker Punch isn't actually classified as a punch move in the game's code, but we think the move makes sense for this guy anyway. This move is just a general cheap shot, and it only works if the target is preparing to use an attacking move on the same turn. It doesn't necessarily have to be a literal punch, which is why the other Hitmons can learn it, even though their designs focus more on kicking.
Hitmonchan's punches are so fast you can get burned if he slightly grazes you with one. Several other Pokedex entries talk about how quickly Hitmonchan can fire off hits. It can also learn a bunch of other priority moves like Fake Out, Mach Punch, and Vacuum Wave. It can also learn some moves that block opposing priority moves, namely Quick Guard and Upper Hand. With all that in mind, we think that Sucker Punch would be a logical move as well.
For more videos like this, subscribe to MEPlaysGames and consider becoming a channel member. You'll get a shout out at the end of each video, and you can watch them a day early. You'll also get to see exclusive content, like Let's Plays and deleted scenes, all for as low as 99 cents a month. Here's, I hit my desk. Here's a move that used to be missing. Shell Smash is one of the best boosting moves in the game. It grants +2 attack, special attack, and speed, but in exchange your defenses are lowered by 1 stage. You can also offset the stat drops by holding a white herb. Since the move boosts both attacking stats, Pokemon like Cloyster can run Shell Smash and still run effective mix sets in some metagames. Most Pokemon that have shells can learn this move, although it took a while for a few of them to learn it.
By breeding with a Squirtle, Wartortle, or Blastoise, Turtwig can learn Shell Smash as an egg move, but only in Scarlet and Violet. Most Pokemon with shells got this move move as soon as possible, but Turtwig is an exception. One of the other exceptions is, well, Blastoise itself. It couldn't learn this move until Sword and Shield.
Torterra greatly appreciates the new boosting option competitively. It's been able to learn Swords Dance and Rock Polish for a while, but Shell Smash basically smashes those two moves together. In Gen 9, it's an effective setup sweeper in the NU tier. You can run standard moves like Wood Hammer, Earthquake, Headlong Rush, and Terra Blast, or you can hold loaded dice and run multi-hit moves like Rock Blast and Bullet Seed. Anyway, Shelmet still can't learn this move. Cool.
This next one is a little bit of a wild card. Gholdengo gets around by riding a golden surfboard made of coins, and its Japanese name includes the English word surf. Despite all of that, Gholdengo is incapable of learning the move Surf. Sure, it's primarily learned by water types, but plenty of other Pokemon get it as well. Lickitung, the Nidos, Go-Goat, and Lanoon can learn Surf as well, so we think it would make sense on this string cheese bozo too.
Whether Gholdengo should actually get Surf is another conversation though. It's already seen a good deal of success in singles and doubles formats alike, so giving it yet another strong move wouldn't be the greatest idea balance-wise. But either way, Gholdengo learning Surf would absolutely be on brand. Hey Elias, how good are you at surfing? Have you even tried it before?
I've never tried it before. I've tried skateboarding, and I can't do it. When Hypno is hungry, it puts people to sleep and eats their dreams. I wouldn't have expected dreams to have nutritional value, but there you are. Dream Eater is a TM or tutor move in most games, but not in Gen 9. So Hypno can't learn this move anymore in Scarlet and Violet because it can't learn the move by level up either. Game Freak put the #1 dream eating Pokemon on a diet, I guess.
Right, so, our resident caffeine expert Elias, how many milligrams of caffeine are there in a dream?
0.
Good answer. Typhlosion is listed as a volcano Pokemon in the Pokedex. It learns the move Eruption by level up, and its German name is a combination of Tornado and Eruption. Despite all of that, Typhlosion can't learn Earth Power. When a Pokemon uses this move, they make the ground erupt directly under the target, which sounds pretty on brand for a volcano Pokemon.
Most other volcano-related Pokemon can learn Earth Power. Camerupt has volcanoes on its back, Slugma and Magcargo are made of magma, Heatran lives in volcanic caves, and so on forever and ever and ever. All of those Pokemon can learn Earth Power by level up, but Typhlosion can't learn it at all.
You know what? We're not done. Entei is in a very similar position. It's also called the Volcano Pokemon in the Dex, and it learns Eruption by level up, but it can't learn Earth Power either. Would Entei actually use Earth Power? Nope, probably not, because this guy's a physical attacker, but it would make a lot of sense thematically. On the other hand, Typhlosion would absolutely appreciate Earth Power. It is a special attacker, but its special coverage is pretty limited. A special ground-type move would be a welcome addition to its move pool.
Well, you definitely forget how to ice skate, because I went ice skating once in college, and
he face planted and died. That was 6 minutes. And somehow I think it was about 3 minutes of nonsense. Next video is gonna be me at the gym bench pressing 1 million pounds.
This is true. This is going to be the next video, guys. I hope you're looking forward to it.
We are actually secretly the 2 strongest men in the world, fun fact. I've got some great news, Elias. There will be 1 hour dedicated to your life coming to ABC every week.
Uh-oh.
What secrets are you hiding, my guy?
Don't worry about it.
Welp, that's all we got for today. Leave a comment about Illumise. If you'd like to hear us talk about Mega Evolutions that don't exist, how many livers the human body has, and poorly aged baseball predictions, you can watch today's deleted scenes by becoming a channel member. And as always, shoutouts to our existing members, including Laurel Watson, Celine M, and Eduardo YYXY, who all joined the channel in the past week. We'll see you all next time. Good night, fellas. Sleep well.